couple days off after the decision day win. Thoughts on how the team's doing out there?
They're good. Yeah, again, we're just so lucky. It's a nice day today. It's not pouring down rain, so we're able to actually get some good training in. And I think they're refreshed mentally. I think it was obviously an emotional victory for them. And they came out here and, they know that it's, the playoffs and now it's money time. So I think they're focused.
How nice does it feel to be able to watch the games tonight and tomorrow as opposed to playing?
Yeah, I said after the game, either way. Look, it's better for us because, yes, you get the physical preparation, that's better, but the mental side of things, sometimes when you're just playing, you're in the thick of it, you're winning games, you just keep that momentum going. Helped us in 2016.
Taking a look at the film from San Jose, was there anything that jumped out at you that you were happy with, that you were not so happy with?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. Again, our normal routine, watch a film, get guys to talk about stuff. That's all happening behind the scenes. The balance of possession versus direct play, transition, some of those things we discussed. We discussed our set pieces in great detail. A couple of those set pieces towards the end of the game, we're rushing, we're so anxious to score that we caught ourselves on the counter there. Just little reminders to make sure that we're covering all the bases.
Brian, what's been the key to these second half surges that you've had and kind of keeping the team together?
God, I wish I knew.
You
You can read Jeff's article.
Yeah.
It gives you half the story right there.
I always read Jeff.
Larry, I wish I knew. Number one, it's the mentality of that group of players. We've had some guys here that have been around since I've taken over, and I think they all, the Aussies of the world, the Nicos when he first came, Chad, Steph, Christian, Lamar Nagel's back, even some of the fringe guys have been around. The mentality of that group is very, very strong. So even in the dire circumstance or situations we found ourselves in, they never quit. Now, were they always successful? In some of the games that we lost early in the year, did we win those games? Did we come back and get a result? No, not all the time, because it's pro sports. We get it. But they never quit.
Yeah.
And so that kind of just steamrolls when they finally believe and they can do things. We got some players back from injury. The World Cup certainly was an abnormal year for us in this sense. So 2016, whatever happened, coaches changed. 2017, I said MLS Cup hangover. Those are two specific things. This year, I think there were some legitimate circumstances that prevented us from having a good start. Jordan's injury, the World Cup guys, some other critical injuries. Kim Ki-hee came here and he had a calf injury. There was a lot of things there.
And the fact that they've done it in the past, they sort of have a collective memory.
That certainly helps. I agree with you 100%. That helps. They know, they believe, they can think. They've been in these situations before. So yes, that's a definite advantage.
This is the club's 10th straight playoff appearance. Prior to 2016, though, it was very common for the club to struggle in playoff runs and never make it to MLS Cup. And now it seems like you're on a path to get back to the Cup for the third straight year. What's been the change in that culture?
Well, let's pump the brakes there. There's still a lot of hard work to do. But I appreciate the question. Certainly, yeah, the club has had success in the last 2 years getting to MLS Cup, which is the end goal for most teams. There's Open Cup, there's Supporter Shield. We want to compete for all of those. But yeah, MLS Cup is the goal. Why it's happened, how it's happened. 2016 we had some personnel that we knew might not be signed the next year. They put everything into it. 2017, I think Garth said we changed like 13 players. This year with the injuries, again, I can't put my finger exactly on it, but we've done okay. Every year's different. Every year there's subtleties that are just, makes you do certain things. It makes you coach a certain way or play these guys versus this guy, and it's always a challenge.
Coaches early in the week, but I didn't see Nuhu or Brad out there. How are they doing?
All the injured guys had a day off today. They're all doing work in the gym.
Do you expect Brad to adjust for the
Brad's
game?
Close.
Yeah.
Very close. If later in the week you ask me that question, I'll give you a more definitive answer. But Nuhu's definitely good for the game.
With Ozzy, at what point this year did you feel that he was back to what he had been in the past, to the point where you would start him every game and actually, move Christian up a line and just feel comfortable?
I'd have to look at all the score sheets, Jeff. I think when Ozzy's been healthy, I've started him every single game. So I don't know if I've ever deliberately not started him if he's not in form, not in whatever. His form, his ability to grow and age well and add subtleties to his game that he might not have had when he was younger, while still keeping some of those positives when he was younger now at an older age, amazes me. I mean, he's been great. He's been a good captain. He gets the guys in for activation. He's done a lot of those little detail-oriented things that helps the group. So I'm pleased as punch that he's in a good run of form, and it's all credit to him and his mentality. He's got that winning mentality we talk about.
What are some of those on-field things that you've seen now that he's maturing?
Well, his ability to dictate the tempo of our game and possession from that area of the field. When Steph gets the ball on goal kicks, we want to put it down and get it into play, get it to Ozzy's feet, get it to Gustav's feet, and let's play right away. His ability to connect passes. His statistics are, off the charts, in the 90 percentile mark of pass completion. He's gotten a little better as far as final third entries. If you look at that stat, he's pushing up a little bit. He knows he has Gustav or even Jordy DeLam. When Jordy was in there, those guys are a good pivot back there, and Ozzy's creeping forward in good spots, getting the ball into Raul's feet, Nico's feet. So that's been a plus for us.
What do you think of Nico's hair?
Reminds me of Gonzalo Pineda back in the day. Gonzo had white hair too, so you guys can make the comparisons. You guys can do a side-by-side photo.
With him, how important do you think it's been having Victor healthy and having Raul start to fit in here? Because it seems like those three guys really play off of each other.
Yeah, but then you gotta include Ozzy, you gotta include Christian, you gotta include Gustav, Nuhu, Brad, Kelvin. I mean, the whole team has done well. I think Nico's one of those guys that, yes, he is a tremendous player. And he does so much for the squad, but he needs other guys around him. So your question is spot on. Victor being healthy they have a good relationship, good rapport. Raul plays kind of the same type of style of play, so that's the reason why they can connect passes and gel together.
You've got three guys who are finalists for various Player of the Year awards. How does it feel to have members of your team being recognized at such a high level? I
told them today at film, I said, yeah, these guys are being in consideration, Fry, Chad, and Ozzy, but they can't do it without the rest of you guys. Steph can't do it without the rest of the back four and the defenders. Chad can't do it without Kim Key or Roman. Just a reminder, Roman was Latino del Año last 2 years running. Ozzy can't do it without Gustav and Christian. It's team awards in some sense. We're very proud that they are up for the finalist award. I mean, I doubt Kim is going to win over Zlatan or someone like that, but we put the nominations out there, and it's an honor that they got selected to be in the finalists.
Vancouver players yesterday revealed that there was some serious dysfunction in their exit interviews, and I was just curious, how difficult is your job when you're managing when things are not going well, and how close is the line to where things could fall over the edge, especially when things are not going well?
Well, that's pro sports. That's just part of our job. The coach's job is never easy. This is the easy stuff. Gonzo, Brecky, Jimmy working with smaller groups, that's the easy part of coaching. The harder part of coaching is managing egos, expectations. That's the challenge. That's where you got to get to know the individual. You got to know what makes them tick. You can poke them a little bit here, put your arm around them there. Those are the subtleties. And, sometimes you got to carry a big stick. And that's the other part of it. So whatever happened in Vancouver, that's their business. Whatever happens here, I think I get to work with a tremendously talented and motivated collective. And so our locker room's good.
You do a really good job at deflecting the spotlight, kind of put it on the players. But going back to the awards and what you do as a manager, I mean, you have been back-to-back finals. Now you're once again second in the conference. Does it ever come to your head why maybe you're not chosen for these awards as Coach of the Year?
No.
It doesn't cross your mind?
No. Why would it?
I don't know.
I mean, I have the best staff in the league. Gonzalo Pineda, Jimmy Traore, Preki, who was a Coach of the Year, by the way, Tommy Dutra. I have support from up above. I have a really, really talented, good staff. And they're loyal to this club.